All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chick from Unit Eagle Eye coming to you with another episode of Eagle Eye. Arsenal during the transfer window. Now, given we're in the final 24 hours of the 2018 summer transfer window, I think it's only right that I do one of these shows. So I wasn't initially going to, and I thought, well, why? I'm going to do a chopping block today as well. So I should really go all out and do one of these shows. Excuse me. And there are a lot of stories floating around today, so I'm going to just rattle some off. And some you may have heard today through other shows, but some you may not have. So let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can cover everything. Let's start with Aaron Ramsey. So it's come out in probably the last, to be honest, I heard a similar story last night, but given the fact that a couple of days ago, people were talking like Ramsey wanted 300,000 a week, over 300,000 a week, and his agents came out and said that's bullshit. I kind of wanted to see if this story had any traction, but now I'm starting to see it in a few different places now. So it looks like we're edging closer to the point that Aaron Ramsey is actually going to stay at Arsenal, which I'm fine with. I'm all right with. He's looked set to put his name on another 5-year contract, which is good. Price though, fucking hell. My man's set to sign a £225,000 per week. Now, all right, it's not quite the 320 that we were told he was initially after. But fucking hell, that's a lot of money, bro. You're worth that? Are you sure? I mean, let me put it into perspective for you. Yeah, I'm seeing in a couple of places that, you know, this deal brings him in line with Aubameyang and Lacazette. No, it doesn't. Aubameyang and Lacazette. Aubameyang, I believe, is on £170,000 per week, which is the exact same money that Mkhitaryan is on. And Lacazette is on £200,000 a week. So I don't really know where this 225 is coming from. He had a good season last season. I don't know about this 225 stuff though, but it's stories. I think if the one thing that we've all learned, particularly when it comes to Aaron Ramsey and his contract and how much he's getting per week, you know, we don't know until we know, until it's been confirmed. And Arsenal never confirmed deals or contracts, but you know, we are aware that Mesut Ozil gets £350,000 per week. I think most people would say yes, that is the truth. 225 is a lot of money, but the other kind of counterpoint to that, I guess, is, well, this is the modern age, this is the modern era, this is what he's on. And I guess when I think about what was Aaron going to agree to, I guess I didn't really have a number in mind. I know there was an initial story that came out a couple of weeks ago that we offered him £155,000 a week, and he rejected that. And in my mind, I was like, brother, please, you better accept that shit. But 225, okay, all right. For that though, I want the best version of Aaron Ramsey. I don't want any bullshit. I don't want you to stop that stupid grinning. I know that's probably more of a smaller point. That's my own annoyance. I personally hate that type of bullshit. When he does something wrong and he pulls off that stupid grin, it's one of my biggest pet peeves with Aaron Ramsey. I want the best Aaron Ramsey, the one that scores goals, creates movement, creates danger. You know, the one thing I'll never fault Aaron Ramsey for, the one thing none of you guys should ever fault Aaron Ramsey for, is that motherfucker will run and run and run. And that much, I would say, is that much we do need. He is a captain candidacy, and to be honest, if he signs that contract, I'm making captain the next day. And I'm hoping that's something that gets confirmed. If this contract is due, I'm hoping it gets confirmed in the next couple of days, because we're going to need a captain going into that City game. And it'd be nice to go into that game with someone who has recently committed and shown that he is Arsenal, you know? You know, there's lots of stories that Mesut Ozil may be the vice captain. I'm all right with that because apparently the fucking captaincy makes Ozil play better. He's had a pretty good pre-season, to be honest. So I'm all right with that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yes, Aaron Ramsey, new 5-year contract. Looks like he's set to say. Looks like. I remember when similar stories are coming out about Jack. So nothing's signed until it's signed. But between the Reece Nelson extension and this, it's been a pretty productive summer with these contract extensions. Now it's about the way we manage these contracts going forward. But that's good news. Then the other story that came out this afternoon, although really it came out a couple of days ago, was Dembele's had a showdown talks essentially with the club. There were lots of stories that came out this morning around the fact that the club were pretty split on whether or not to accept Arsenal's supposed mega offer of a loan and then another 80 million next season, and some were a bit like, maybe we should accept this. We should cut our losses and go. Others were like, no, he's 21, he's a big talent. My stance has always been with Dembele, if we could get him, fucking by all means go and get him. But I've always been real suspicious as to whether or not we could actually do it. Where have we suddenly found this supposed 80 million from? Was my very first question when I first saw this subject. I was one of the few people that always believed in this budget of ours, this 50 to 70 million budget. And I remember when I put it up, people who are even friends of the show were telling me they thought it was bullshit. Well, no, watch. I don't know why. I just got this feeling the Steiner said, no, under no circumstances do you spend over 70 million. And it's all of a sudden now we can't seem to complete a deal without selling people. It's unbelievable, like a club like Arsenal being outspent by the likes of West Ham. It's crazy. And I know you're probably thinking, hold up, is this the same brother that spoke last night? I get that. I understand that. For me, again, let me make myself clear, because apparently I didn't do that in my last video. I am not happy about Stan buying the club. But I also recognize that what the fuck is it going to do now? We're going into a new season. The most important thing is going into that new season in a positive mindset. And for a majority of the summer, we as Arsenal fans have been positive. Papers don't know what the fuck to do. Papers were making up bullshit just to rattle us Arsenal fans. And for a large part of the summer, we as Arsenal fans have done very well. And then this story yesterday happened. And then it just started to detract us away from what we should be doing, is supporting the fucking boys through this weekend. Because this fucking weekend, I got news for you, this Sunday ain't an easy game. I'm playing the damn champs. So, to me, that was the point I was more trying to get across. Evidently, that was lost in translation. Anyway, I digress. To me, I knew that this story, it was going to be difficult to push over the line, because I didn't know where we got this money from. And then the other part of me that kind of thought to myself, this story must be bullshit. Would Barca really give up on a player they spent over 100 million on to secure in the first place, only to give up on a season later? Like, it made no form of sense. So that's why, for me, I mean, of course, you have to talk about the story because the story is such an extraordinary story. But the Dembele story, to me, was no more likely than Mbappe was last year. I don't care what Mbappe is saying now. In my mind, I never believed that Mbappe was going to be an Arsenal player. It was the same way I never believed that Dembele would be an Arsenal player, at least not this summer. And so it's come out. They've had a showdown talks. And Dembele has finally done the one thing I'd accused him of not doing all summer. He's confirmed reiterated his desire to stay at Barcelona. So good luck to him. What I hope is that we switch tact to another youngster who's actually said he wants to leave the fucking club. Because if we let Chelsea get, I'm sorry, there's no excuses. If we lose out to people like Liverpool, United, City, you can understand. You can understand because these motherfuckers are in the Champions League. Even as much as it fucking crushes my heart to say, even Tottenham, you know, because they're in the Champions League. Quite frankly, they can offer them something we can't. Having said that, if you let Chelsea buy him, then I know you motherfuckers ain't serious. I know you ain't serious. Do not let Chelsea get Bailey, for fuck's sake. Because I tell you what, that kid is another one that I think is a real good talent. Real good talent. From time we started being linked with him last year, I kept a real close eye on him. Very, very good player. Anyway, I led with a story going into this video. You're probably thinking, all right, well, who's this Wesley bloke? So something popped up on my phone just when I was getting set to record this. And that is supposedly Arsenal are looking at the possibility of Wesley, who plays for Club Bruges. Actually, his full name, hopefully not butcher this, Wesley Moraes Ferreira da Silva, which I'm hoping I've not butchered. He's 21 years old, built like a brick shit house. I think I remember seeing this kid once. I'm not no ITK. I'm not one of these motherfuckers that's going to tell you they saw a story when they didn't. But I remember seeing this kid once. I thought, who the fuck is that? He's supposedly 21. He's like 6'3", real built, like a proper built motherfucker. Where's number 7 on his back, right? Real presence on the pitch. Fiery cat though, like you know, a bit of a Costa type fiery. So much so that Arsenal sent some scouts to watch him on Sunday play a friendly. This motherfucker got himself sent off in 12 minutes. I mean, we're talking about someone with a couple of screws loose. But he's Brazilian. Got himself 19 goals in, since 2016. Let me make that clear. Has got himself 19 goals. So 19 goals in 69 appearances. Said to be a good talent. Good talent. They described him as a forward. But when I saw him, he was playing on the right-hand side. To be honest, he's playing a little bit on the left-hand side as well. So I think he's someone that can clearly play across the front line. And, you know, arguably someone that we need. You know, a lot of people, they miss Giroud because he's a different type of player. And there's lots of talk that we're looking to get rid of Danny Welbeck tomorrow. I ain't going to lie, I'm a little concerned with the idea of only having 3 strikers. So bringing this guy who can play in a couple of different types of positions, I'd be all for. You know, he got himself 13 goals in the Belgian league. That's the only thing last year, and got himself a couple of assists. But, you know, Club Brugge has played in the Champions League a couple of times, pulled off a couple of shots as well. So I don't know if he's good enough. I'm ready to see him. I wouldn't mind having a couple of players and a little bit of bite in them. That seems to be the theme of our transfer window. You know, as all of our players seem to have a little bit of fight in them. So I'm all for that. I'm all for a little bit of a nutter, you know. Because the one thing I say about Costa, there ain't no Arsenal defender that likes playing against Costa, which is a lot of the reason why Costa causes problems every single time he plays us. So I'm all fucking for having ourselves our own little Diego Costa. I'm all for that shit. So keep an eye on that story. Because I think, to me, if we buy anybody, this is the type of person we buy. Also, keep in mind that Lazio were very, very interested in this guy. They've just lost Philip Anderson to West Ham. So they're obviously looking for a replacement for him, and they were looking at this guy, but something, apparently they kind of changed targets. They were a little bit put off by his wild temperament. So who knows? Who knows? These are the type of things that we need to, quite frankly, look at. So it is what it is. And a couple more stories, a couple of more departures, actually. So Lucas Perez has more or less, I think we're waiting for it to be confirmed. Probably be confirmed while I'm doing the show. But Lucas Perez looks like he's leaving or left Arsenal. 5 million. Wow, what a loss that is. The only thing I'll say, at least it's 80,000 off the books. Some of you long-time subscribers will know I made a massive rant video on Lucas Perez. I just didn't understand why we treated him so badly. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to surprise a lot of people. I do. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. And I'll tell you what, if you've got a fantasy football team and you want a little sneaky, cheap pick, you ain't going to go wrong with him. Because I know people are saying to me, oh, we ain't going to start for West Ham. Really? You telling me he ain't better than fucking Hernandez? Hernandez barely did shit for West Ham last season. So don't be surprised even if he doesn't initially start, I fully expect Perez to go on and have a good season. So we'll see. And then Ospina's edging closer to the door. My suspicion is Arsenal are trying to work some sort of deal out. We're trying to get this Dida deal over the line. They want 20 million quid. We want to see if we can try and get that price down by including Ospina in the deal. Makes sense. You know, we want one of their players, they want one of our players. So don't be surprised if something happens around this tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. And that's pretty much it from now, as far as I can tell in terms of the stories. So we'll see. I expect things to constantly change between now and 5 p.m. tomorrow. Remember, the transfer window does close 5 p.m. tomorrow. So, gosh, I would love to sneak off early from work and do a show with you guys. But what I will do, you guys know I'm doing a show with Frimpong tomorrow. I'll do one of those shows, and what we'll do is we'll cover everything. So it's going to be a preview for City, but if Arsenal obviously do a last-minute deal, we'll cover that shit. So we'll talk about that, talk about the game of City, and just do a really good hour for you guys where we just do a nice little rounded show for you guys. But that's pretty much it from me, guys. You let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, drop kick the shit out that like button. It really does help the shows when you do that. So please do hit that like button. I will be back in about an hour where I'm going to set up now and do a live chopping block episode for all of those. I say all of us. There's literally 2 people that always bitch about the African beats that go on in the background. You ain't gonna like that, so you might want to give that a pass. But I know the rest of you too. So check out that chopping block. I'm basically going to talk about all the people we should be getting rid of that I've not already mentioned. So I'll be back in an hour to do that video. But aside from that, I've rambled for long enough, so I'm going to leave you guys to it. Take care. Deuces.